Good morning, everyone. Good evening. Whatever time of day it is for you, gorgeous souls, welcome. Apologies, I'm a few minutes late. I have had so much buzzing around in my head lately with ideas, creative ideas, things I want to share with you. The wellness tree is just so coming together in all of its different pieces, different things I've been teaching over the years, and I've just been living this work for the last 10 years when I started my alcohol freedom journey, then morphed into my sugar freedom journey. And as I've been going along, just things have been coming in, and it's like, teach this, this goes there, this goes there. I have such a gorgeous framework structure with this wellness tree now, and it feels so exciting. And one of the huge pieces that I really want to talk about today, so we are going to be talking about the wine witch, but the key about today's session is really talking about safety within ourselves. Okay, so a huge welcome if you're joining me live, great to see you, or if you're watching the replay later, or you're watching this on YouTube, or you're here with me in this private community, feel free to comment, like the video if it resonates with you, and feel free to pop questions in the comments below, or to private message me if you want to ask something in confidence. So, talking about safety, because when we're working on drinking less or drinking none, and we're really wanting that to phase out, and my approach is not to focus on the alcohol, but rather create a day and create a life that just feels so aligned with your specific habits and routines and health and wellness goals in your life, in your business, that you want to be focused on. And when you're really in a really great state, who you're being, alcohol problems, grey area drinking problems and cycles of drinking will just naturally melt away. And this is what happened to me, and this is what happens with my clients. And the practice is staying on track, because we can sort of, obviously, it's not going to be perfect. We're going to wobble off track. It's part of the journey. But we really need to be accepting these failures. We need these failures because that's our feedback. That's going to really help us to create our freedom plan. With the freedom plan, I used to call this a stay sober plan. Now, I'm not calling it that anymore, because what I've come to realize is alcohol freedom means different things to different people. It doesn't necessarily mean not drinking. Some people can still drink and feel freedom within that. Other people don't want to drink. Like me, I don't want to drink. I don't drink alcohol anymore, because to me, I worked really hard at trying to moderate, and it didn't work for me. Now, this is for each individual person to find their own journey with that. However, that doesn't matter so much. But what is key is that you have a freedom plan in place, and it's really supporting your nervous system. Now, this is where the safety piece comes into it. This is where the wine witch comes into it. Because if we don't feel safe, if the nervous system doesn't feel safe and we feel wobbly, which of course it's going to, it's perfectly natural. It's especially when we're wanting to let go of drinking, it can feel totally outside of our comfort zone. It can feel we can feel really vulnerable. So it's really important that we learn to build safety within. Now, this takes a long time, and we start with this with really baby steps. So building safety is where we need to be starting with our wellness tree. So think of this as you've got your little seed of your wellness tree, and that seed contains all of your desires, your hopes, your dreams, the freedom that you want to create, the healthy goals, the healthy habits, the feelings that you want to create, more confidence, more fitness in all of your different life areas, more richness, more abundance, more resilience, soul freedom, soul wealth, soul freedom. This is all tied up in a feeling. And how we bring that into every day is through identity. It's through who you be, who you are being. And we do that by deciding what we want, deciding what brings us pleasure, which can be a tricky one if we have associated drinking with pleasure. So it's really learning to unpick these things, and this is why we need to have a freedom plan. So we are creating safety first, because we need to create safety first. This is root level work, because then once the body feels safe, we can then open up into our creativity, into those goals and those desires, and we can live a more colourful lifestyle. Grey area drinking and cycles of being stuck in that never-ending day one cycle, the wine witch is calling you every day. It's soul destroying, it's exhausting. It's taking your precious time, your energy, your sleep, your money, opportunities. It's taking so much. Relationships, health things. It's awful. It's dreadful. And we need to be able to stop these cycles now. And only we can do that. But we can do that. But it's really crucial that we do create this safety within. So we are tending to our soil. We need rich soil to plant our seed into. And then those seeds can grow these strong roots. And what we tend to do, we keep digging up that seed to see if it's growing. We need to leave it alone. We need to stay focused, stay committed. So we're going to talk about the wine witch, what the wine witch actually is, and the hidden brain pattern behind grey area drinking. Now, before anyone worries about this and the wine witch and everything else, we are not shaming, we are not blaming, and we are not making you feel bad about drinking. No. In fact, it's the opposite, because one of the biggest things that I see with people in the grey area drinking world, so that's not end of spectrum drinking where you'd need to be medically detoxed, and it's not now and again, take it or leave it, wine's just not a thing for me, but it's this whole mystical grey area where you can stop drinking, but staying stopped is the problem. And typical thoughts with grey area drinking is, why do I keep doing this to myself? Why can't I just stop drinking? I don't really want to drink, and I do, and I don't, and I do, and we swing between these two different people. And I promise myself I won't drink, and then Friday comes and I'm pouring the wine anyway. And it's almost like we just feel so tired, we don't give a what's it, and we are just having that party for one again, promising ourselves a fresh start again on Monday? Give me a yes in the comments if this resonates, because I really understand that place. I lived in that place for so many years with alcohol and with sugar, and I'm through that now. I've built enough safety within myself to be able to navigate through that and actually feel okay without numbing and squashing. And if I choose, so I don't drink alcohol anymore, but if I choose to have a piece of cake, for example, because that's something I do now and again as a conscious choice. I'm 95% roughly sugar-free now. I will have it. And funnily enough, yesterday was my 50th birthday, and I had pre-planned, I was going to have a nice piece of cake as a celebration. It was going to be a conscious choice. I wasn't going to binge or numb out or anything, because I can do that now. I can enjoy it, I can leave it, and it's fine. And then I get back on track with my own freedom plan. And I woke up yesterday morning on my birthday, and I thought, oh, I said I was going to have some cake today. And when I really thought about it, I thought, do you know what? I don't actually want it. What's the point? And that is a first for me. That is huge. And with that came a bit of fear, because I realised that was part of the identity that I've always been used to. That version of me that will just always just go out and have the cake because that's what I do. But as I'm stretching and growing into this more steadier, resilient version of me that actually really wants to stick to her long-term freedom goals, I thought, wow. And I remember it reminded me of my kitchen moment when I was newly alcohol-free and I had that huge wine craving. And I remember saying to myself, this is the version of me that always does this. I will always go down to the garage and buy wine. And I got really curious about the new identity, the new version of me that just kept going, that wasn't addicted, that was free. And that feels like me now. And it's taken years. It's taken years. But you know what? I stopped focusing on how long it's going to take. And I just focus on every day. And I focus on the habits, the rituals. They're very, very simple. It's nothing complicated. But every choice I get to choose. Will this give to me or will this take from me? Is this building the new identity that I want to create, or will this take me back into that old identity? You see, this is a feeling journey, and this is how we work with our nervous systems. Not only that, it's where we work with our own energy, our own frequency. And this is the work that we're toe dipping into in Strong Roots. I take you so much deeper into this, because once we understand how to build the safety first, we then can see what we're working with. And it's not about pushing these things away, because that will keep us stuck. So it's about working with these parts of ourselves, like the wine witch, like the inner child, like the inner rebel. They all pop up, they all have a message. They all need to be heard. So most people think that drinking is about willpower, or not drinking is about willpower. But it really rarely is about that, like a little bit maybe. But what actually happens over time, over years, is that our brain is creating habit loops. The other thing is our brain's job is to keep us safe. It's constantly scanning our environment. It's actually on our side. And what we teach our brain is what it remembers and what it's going to give us. It's going to remind us. So your brain will literally start linking alcohol to certain moments. Moments like the end of the day, stress relief, a reward. Oh, go on, you've had a hard day, you deserve it. It can be celebration. I've had a great day, I've survived the week, I've got a new client. Maybe you've had a really good week in your business, if you have a business, or you've had a promotion, or you're just feeling really on top of the world. It can also be loneliness. Maybe you live somewhere out in the country, out in the wilds. You're not near many people. Or maybe like me, you used to suffer from huge social anxiety or panic attacks, or you just have that, you're very sensitive, you feel things deeply. You know, these can be a lot of the reasons why. And maybe you just want to switch off. You have a noisy brain like me as well, and you need that noise to stop. So when those moments arrive, this voice appears, like you've had a long day, one glass won't matter, you can start Monday, you know, and then we can have the fear of missing out and the life's no fun anymore. We can really hook into those voices. They can be so seductive. The voice in particular is the one of the wine witch. This is a common term used in sobriety circles, and I did my own deeper dive into that wine witch and like, what actually is the wine witch? Because we think it's like it can be helpful to think of it as something outside of ourselves, or the sugar monster, or whatever. But really what this actually is, it's the voice of the old habit pattern just reminding us. This is a really powerful moment when we realise what that voice actually is, because it's not actually you. It's not you, it's just the pattern is speaking. And this is where people get really frustrated, because they're trying to fight the wine witch. There'll be a battle in their heads. Maybe you have sat with a craving all day. Am I drinking wine tonight? Am I not? Shall I stop at the garage, the shop on the way home? Shall I buy one? Shall I buy two? Or shall I not? Shall I just sit it out? Like, think about how I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning. Yeah, I'll feel good, but maybe I'm also going to feel like I'm missing out. And what about the weekend? And oh, it's sunny. We're going to that pub garden with the family. I just wish I could sit and have a glass of wine. And oh, there's the holiday coming up. Christmas, birthdays, there's always a reason. We can absolutely scare ourselves, I won't swear, we can scare ourselves silly with all of this. That brain, wow. Guess what? We don't need to think these thoughts. They are not helpful. That is our primal brain. That is our animal brain trying to keep us safe. And we can try and fight this, but actually this is really, really exhausting. Especially at the end of the day, when you're tired, you've been giving all day, focused all day on your work, giving to the family, giving to the kids, the business, everything, whatever. And you just want to switch off. You just want some time for you. So what we actually need to do, instead of fighting this pattern, we need to change the environment around the pattern. Think of it as your wellness tree, which is the wellness tree holds everything that you want. Your structure, the plan, your own soul blueprint for the way forwards to freedom. And you are just putting a little fence around that wellness tree. And between the fence and the wellness tree, you are going to plant a little wellness garden. And you can make this garden exactly how you want. There could be beautiful flowers, beautiful smelling flowers. This area can be as big or as small as you want. Think about the feeling. How would you love to feel as you sit in this little wellness garden? Maybe with a blanket on the floor, a little bench somewhere, maybe there's a little stream, you can pop your toes in and just feel the water cleansing you. Like literally, this is all within you. This is what I call starting the paradise lifestyle. And this is the way that I've been living and deepening into over the last 10 years. So from this place, when we create that safety within, I'm going to talk more about that, we can create a peaceful state within. We can create peace, we can create calm, even if we're feeling wobbly and we're feeling the fear, that's okay. And then we create that level of safety, then we open up into the bigger feeling. Like we literally from this place can then enjoy our home. It feels safe to enjoy being present in our home with our family, going out shopping, going out to the pub and choosing an alcohol-free drink, or having a lovely pub lunch. I deliberately put myself in these situations in the early days. Maybe you're not ready to and you don't want to, and that's absolutely fine. But for me, I wanted to practice. I wanted to deliberately stretch my nervous system. You have to feel your way into this. Because when you do this, you create evidence for your brain that you can do this. So it's creating new evening rhythms. Really simple. It's supporting the nervous system. It's building habits that actually help you switch off out of work mode and into evening mode. So you create a transition. For me, it looks like a peppermint tea at 5 o'clock, which is a signal to my brain the day's work is done. Now we're transitioning into the evening. It could be that you are arriving home from work. If you're working, you travel to work, you stop somewhere on the way home. You park up somewhere, or you park up in your driveway. You just have a minute to yourself, just to close your eyes and just to do some deep breathing, just to really settle and show your body that you're transitioning into the evening. And this is teaching the brain a new way to relax and regulate. Now, inside Strong Roots, my private membership, we've been working on this week. I literally did a deep dive training for the group. We were talking about the hungry tiger, how it can feel like we have this tiger within us. And it's like, get me that wine now, and we don't care. That's when we are really in our primal brain, as opposed to our powerful brain. So that's our conscious thinking. This is what we're doing. It's taming that tiger. We have to get that tiger to settle, but we have to soothe it first. And this is where we have to work with our tools and resources. Everything is inside Strong Roots. If you want the details, pop Roots in the comments. But we are working on building on-track days together. Because alcohol freedom itself is rarely about one huge, great big decision. It's actually about creating the tiny, small baby structures that are supporting you every day. They're tiny things. It feels like sometimes you do something and it feels like the smallest win. And these are sometimes the biggest wins. And they have this compounding effect. I call it like the caterpillar steps. So if you ever feel like you're really stuck in grey area drinking, just know that it's not because you're weak or there's something wrong with you. It's because your brain has learned a pattern. Maybe you've been drinking, grey area drinking for years. Well, we can break these patterns. We just teach and rewire all of ourselves. And I make that sound really simple, but it's not. It takes a long time. But actually, we make it really complicated, and it doesn't need to be. This gets in the way, so we need to learn a new way of thinking, working with the mindset, but that's only 30% of the journey. The rest is teaching the body. And so having a community, a private community doing it together, having accountability, but having the structure, having the guidance, the support, the tools and the resources, and people who really, really understand, who are doing it with you. You know, you got to embrace the failure, the wobbles, the messiness and the mistakes. As you plant your wellness garden and your wellness tree, you've got to get your hands dirty. It's okay. It's okay. If you look at my history, my journey of alcohol freedom, it's been crazy. It was like a hot mess, but I had to go through that mushy, horrible stage, and I don't regret any of it. I don't regret any of it. The drinking experiments, the wobbles, the failures. You know, I've been in some dark places with it. It's all been part of my growth, and it's the same for all of us. So I'd love to know, actually, I'm really curious, what things does the wine witch say to you? For me, it was like, go on, you've had a hard day, you deserve it. What things do you hear? Because it's really time for us now to really work on breaking these patterns. And if this is you, if you have been stuck for ages, or you've got some traction, you've got some sober days under your belt, it's for you wherever you are on the journey. Sober curious, wanting to drink less, wanting to drink none. Build your freedom plan and your paradise lifestyle, baby step style. Come and join Strong Roots. Currently it's £59 per month. Cancel anytime. We have a shared Google folder with everything you need. We have a coaching session every week. Everything is recorded. You don't need to come live if you don't want to. You can work on it at your own pace, in your own time. It's nervous system friendly. And we have a WhatsApp group where people just feel they can just be themselves. There's no judgment. It's beautiful. We're building something really, really powerful there. I'd love to invite you to join us. If you want the details, just pop Roots in the comments. And I would love your wine witch conversation. What does she say to you? All right, gorgeous souls, I will see you same time next week. Have an amazing rest of the day or evening. Lots of love.